When I say, who's the master? You say, no.
What's going on, everybody? Showing up the King. I'm back here to bring you my review and then have a discussion of the season premiere of Hulk and the Agents of S.M.A.S.H. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to talk about the characters, talk about my thoughts on the first episode, and then I'm just going to jump into a quick discussion. So this team of Hulks is made up of 5 members. The first member is Hulk himself. We all know who Hulk is. There's no need to go into any deep backstory into who he is. One of the things that we do know about this Hulk is he is intelligent. He's calculating. Apparently he can fly a jet, and he is not the normal stupid Hulk or the rage Hulk that we all know from the movies and other TV shows. This is more like the smart Hulk, who does exist. Number 2, we'll go with Red Hulk. Now, in the show, they kind of explain to you exactly how the Red Hulk came to be, and in relation to the actual comic book storyline on how the Red Hulk became to be, it's actually pretty accurate. I'll get into that in a little bit of detail more a little bit later, but let's just move on. The third member is Rick Jones, who is A-Bomb. And on this show, his character is not as much as it is in the comic books, and which is fine because, again, if you think about it, the cartoon, it's a cartoon, so you're not going to always take on the same seriousness that the comic book counterpart takes place. And A-Bomb is short for Abomination. He is the new Abomination, and again, I'll get into that in a little bit. The fourth member is She-Hulk. And She-Hulk is a whole nother, bag of worms. We already know about her origin story, and if you don't know, they didn't really explain it on the show, because I guess they all assumed that everyone knew who She-Hulk is, but her origin is, she got a blood transfusion, an emergency blood transfusion from Bruce Banner, and his gamma-radiated blood got into her system and turned her into the She-Hulk. She does not have the ability to turn back. She is always green. Now, it looks like this version of the Hulk also doesn't turn into Bruce Banner, again, which is fine. That point is minute. And the last person we're going to talk about, which is the 5th member, is Scar. Now, Scar is the wild card. Now, I've been thinking and debating in my head whether or not I wanted to go ahead and talk about in detail what Scar's origin is, because, again, I don't want to spoil it so much for some of the people who don't know about Scar, but I've decided I might as well just go ahead and talk about it, because in this world we just gotta go for it. And again, I have no idea how they're going to do it in the show, but if they don't follow the original synopsis of Scar, I'm going to be upset. And as a matter of fact, I think in some of the promos they even actually said Scar, son of Hulk. So if you don't know, spoiler alert, Scar is Hulk's son. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it on the show, but finding out that Scar was his son was a huge deal. It was huge in the comic book, because everything that led up to it, Hulk, being banished from Earth by the Illuminati, which is a Marvel group, we won't get too much into that, being sent to another planet where he was forced to be a gladiator, meeting the Old Strongs, and getting with his wife, and then coming back and trying to destroy Earth. It was a huge deal, and basically Hulk and his wife Sierra, the Old Strong, they did what they did, and they had a son who was Scar, and he was basically born in the death of the planet. So that's why his name is Scar, because he basically the planet was called Sakaar. So how they end up doing that is going to be kind of funny, because of the simple fact that Hulk didn't know he had a son, but that would still require them to negate the fact of all Planet Hulk situation, what happened on that planet. They would basically have to negate all of that. And what I hope they don't do is say that the leader created Scar out of Hulk's DNA and he's like some sort of clone. That would really be stupid, because it will just be stupid. So I hope they don't go there. But again, we won't really know right away. It looks like it is something they're going to save for later, and which is fine. I'm cool with that. I'll reserve my reservation on how they handle the whole Scar situation for later. But now let's go ahead and talk about the show itself. The good. I'll talk about the good before I get into some of the things that I don't like. I love She-Hulk. I think they got her animation down pat. I think that her personality matches correctly, and I love the voice. And if you don't know Elijah Dushku, she does the voice for She-Hulk. And if you don't know who Elijah Dushku is, then you should slap yourself. But, I know there's a lot of people who are young who probably don't know who she is. She's done a lot of work with Joss Whedon. She's had many TV shows, True Calling. She's had Dollhouse. She was Faith in the Buffy and Angel series. She has a huge resume, and she's worked a lot with Joss Whedon, which makes sense how she got to do the voice work for the show. I also liked the tech. I think it was a little cheesy at first because again, Hulk, he travels by his own means. He doesn't fly planes. He doesn't drive tanks, and he doesn't have his own secret base. But I guess for the purpose of the show and it being Smart Hulk, they're kind of utilizing both pieces, which is fine. I'm cool with that, and I even like the little Fantastic Four splitting plane thing they got where it splits into 5 pieces. If you don't remember the Fantastic car from Fantastic Four, their car does the exact same thing. In this actual episode was based around Annihilus. It was another enemy that the Avengers ended up fighting in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I think it was season 2, I believe. But they end up fighting Annihilus, and he has his legion of bugs, and he created this huge gamma storm, was trying to break through, and basically Scar comes in, and Scar is working for Annihilus, and he has a little controller chip attached to the back of his head. Typical villain fare. And Hulk and his agents of S.M.A.S.H, they end up thwarting the actual, attack. And, I don't want to go through an entire recap of the episode. I kind of just want to talk about, bits and pieces and things that I liked and things that I didn't like. One of the things that I wasn't too fond of was the handling of Rick Jones at first. I always have this thing about humans always trying to take on more than they can choose. You got Rick running around. He's completely human. He's trying to fight things. And it's like, Hulk is like, look, he's basically like, look, you're human. You can't do anything. So what are you wasting our time for? So Rick eventually gets turned into Abomination, or A-Bomb, as he likes to call himself. And, he turns into a pretty cool, he has this little awesome catchphrase and, things like that. And he wasn't too annoying. I'll definitely say Rick's character, as he's the A-Bomb, he's definitely the comic relief of the team. And then we have Red Hulk, who's the armor guy. He's the guy that uses weapons and guns, which is true in the comic book as well. Red Hulk does use guns, but he also had the ability to, whenever he gets, we all know that when Hulk gets stronger, when he gets angrier, he gets stronger. Now with Red Hulk, his ability is supposed to be that the angrier he gets, he starts to emit this gamma radiation heat. It's almost like lava. And then he also does use guns, so it's pretty cool. So they got that spot on. Again, like I said, I thought Annihilus was probably a weaker villain to start with. I would have liked to have seen them to fight someone else who had the ability to punch, but we did get lots of smashing in the actual episode. When the episode first started, we got Hulk versus Scar. And that battle was okay. It was okay. The Red Hulk ended up joining in, and it was Red Hulk and Hulk versus Scar. Scar ended up getting the best of them and ended up getting off with the weapon to free Annihilus. And then, of course, eventually, they go into the negative zone with She-Hulk to free both the Red Hulk and Scar, and then they both all team up to inevitably end up beating Annihilus. So far, if I have to, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rate the first 2 episodes. I'm probably going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. I didn't see enough that would make me want to just say, oh my god, this is the best new show that's out. I definitely think it has potential to be better than Ultimate Spider-Man, but then again, I'm not a huge Ultimate Spider-Man fan, so that's not saying much. But it's right now, it's better than most episodes I've seen of Ultimate Spider-Man. Now keep in mind, like I said, Ultimate Spider-Man definitely has some episodes that are worthwhile, but in general, it's not a great show. But anyway, before I one few other things I want to talk about in relation to the show, the camera style. That was one thing that bothered me. I'm not completely against it yet, but it's going to take some time to get used to. Like, I can tell that the people who make this show are probably associated in some way with Ultimate Spider-Man, because, you know, Ultimate Spider-Man is filled with Deadpool moments where breaking the fourth wall and talking to the screen. And I see what they were trying to do. They didn't want to do the exact same thing that Spider-Man does by, him breaking the fourth wall. So they're both breaking the fourth wall. Let's just be clear. They're both doing it. They're just doing it in a different way. With Spider-Man, he's literally breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience, which is us, and communicating with us. And the way they're doing it on Hulk Agents of S.M.A.S.H. is they're using these floating cameras that seem to be able to float around whenever there's a battle going on, no matter where they are. These floating devices are, capturing everything. And then they're also having almost like a real world style confessional where you're getting the first person view and he's actually talking to you. So in the episode, you'll see a breakaway and it'll be like Hulk talking to the camera like, yeah, Rick's my best buddy. I wouldn't know if anything happened to him, so I don't want him to get hurt and blah, 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 blah. Not too sure on how I feel about that. And like I said, it's not as annoying as the Ultimate Spider-Man breaking the fourth wall, but I don't know why. I don't know why all of a sudden Marvel and these TV shows they have this need to do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But again, I'm not going to hold it against them too much. It's only the first couple episodes. It'll be nice to see where they go with it. And in the previews for next episode, we get an Iron Man cameo. That's going to be so it should be good. And we're going to also get a Hulk Busters, and it looks like we're going to get the leader. Now, one of the big plot points at the end of the actual episode is after they beat the Annihilus and they, get out of the negative zone, we find out that Scar is actually working with the leader. Hulk knows that Scar is working with the leader, but the leader doesn't know that Hulk knows. So that's kind of where the cliffhanger ended, with Scar still technically not being on their side, but feeling bad about tricking them because they took him in. So we'll kind of see where that goes, but apparently we know that leader has something on Scar, and Scar doesn't even know his own history, so he doesn't know where he comes from. He doesn't know anything about himself. So again, that's why I was saying at the beginning of the video, we don't know where this storyline is going to take it. It could take it the comic book route, which I don't understand how they would. They're going to have to change it, because leaving out World War Hulk, leaving out Planet Hulk, that's a huge deal to just like screw up. So it'll be really interesting to see where they get it, where they go with this. But I want to know what you guys thought. Did you really enjoy the premiere of Hulk and Agents of S.M.A.S.H.? Are you willing to continue to watch it? You know how this works. I usually do the first 3 episode reviews, and then I'll decide whether or not I want to keep it going for a series, or if I'm just going to go ahead and drop it. Now, one other thing I am going to talk about pretty quickly, because I know you guys, have been a while since you've seen videos from me. I will be still reviewing Avatar: The Legend of Korra Season 2 without question. And I'm going to start doing a lot of reviews on video games, especially with the next-gen systems coming out. And there have been some awesome game releases. I've actually had a chance to beat Deadpool, and it was okay. It was pretty good. But I'm going to start talking a little bit more about video games in general. I'm deciding whether or not I want to do a new channel for it, but we'll get to that. I'm also going to stick with my anime and manga reviews, so don't worry about that, and I'll still be talking about shows. And I promise my True Blood fans, I will be catching up and talking about the True Blood seasons thus far before the season finale, I believe either this weekend or next weekend. But Sean the King, comment in the section below, thumbs up the video, you know the deal. Have a good day.